Greetings, everyone. My name is Anastasia Renee, and I am a writer, an educator, an interdisciplinary artist, and a cultural worker. I am so happy to be here with you, and I am so happy that you are here with me. The purpose of this talk or workshop is to give you some tidbits, some secrets of how to maintain joy in the morning, in the MOURNING morning. The job that you hold as a healer, as a practitioner, as cultural workers yourselves is really big. And I have so much gratitude for each of you and the work that you do. And I know from firsthand experiences that it's really hard to maintain this sense of joy and love and light and positivity while doing this work. So I hope that some of the things that I share with you, you will feel like they are helpful and that you might integrate them into your daily practices. I want to begin with just taking a couple of breaths, however many you need. For me, it's usually 3. And I want you to imagine that these breaths are coming either from your toes and working themselves all the way up, or from your womb area and working themselves all the way up. And if you're having a hard time settling in, let's do one more for good measure. Thank you for that. Next, I want to invite you to get inside your body. Call all the pieces of yourself into one bright beaming light that is your body, and get here and be present with me. I'm going to call all the parts of myself to join inside my body too. It's so easy to be distracted with what's for dinner, what are your plans for tomorrow, deadlines, all that. I understand, but we're going to try our best to be focused in this moment. I thought long and hard about what I would share with you, and I decided to just make it in a list form. But what I realized is my memory is not the best. And so I'm not going to be able to present this to you like number 1, number 2, number 3. I will leave it to you to list them on your own if you are someone who needs to number the list. For me, I will just present them to you. The first thing I want to share with you is that this is about regular rituals and regular practices that you do for yourself. These are not surrounding clients or when you work with other people. Do you know what I mean? This list is for you. The things for you to do all the time, regularly. And remember that. For me, I love and I need rituals. I need to have things in my life that I do all the time, things that I can hold myself accountable for. My whole life I feel is a ritual. So, and I find this helps me. It helps me keep going. Sometimes it gives me something to look forward to. So the first thing I want to share with you is the idea that the child in you helps to usher in the joy, right? And the child in you isn't necessarily based upon the kid you, the child that you were, right? The child you is the little you, the you that is full of joy and happiness. It's the you that's saying, come on, let's have some fun. Come on, let's take care of ourselves. Come on, let's get sleep. Come on, let's put our feet in the grass. Come on, let's splash around in the water. Come on, let's see the beauty in big and small things. So think about what the kid you looks like. What does the kid you sound like? How tight does the kid you hug you? What is the kid in you? What is their favorite saying? Think about the kid in you as you are thinking about this list. So, starting the list with, have a cup or an object that brings you joy. Something that makes you feel happy and good and safe, and make sure you drink out of it regularly. I wouldn't necessarily say that this cup should be your coffee cup or your tea cup, right? I'm into rituals, but don't make it be the thing that you have in the morning, because sometimes, even coffee or tea is attached to our business mind, right? It's our adult self, but let it be a cup. It could be a cup of tea or coffee or warm milk or whatever, but use this cup when you want to feel this feeling. Next, think about children's books that you like, or children's books that you used to like, or if you're into picture books or comics or graphic novels, what are you into as it relates to kids' books? For me, right now, I found this really cute compact set called The Little Feminist, and they are 4 hardback books with pictures and words. I like this, 1, because I'm learning new things, and 2, I'm tactile. I like to touch it, and I like the colors. So think about a few books that you have that you can just look at. Your go-to graphic novels, your go-to kids books, something that, again, gives you that kid feeling, something that channels curiosity. Next, something that I believe many of us being adults, used to do, and that is coloring and crayons. Get yourself some crayons. Get a box of 24. If you're really feeling fancy, get a box of 64. They still sell the crayons even with the little sharpener on the back. I love a box of 64 with the sharpener. If you are not as much into crayons, get yourself some colored pencils. Something that will allow you to color. This also means get some coloring books. I love coloring books and I love to color. More than that, I like to doodle. Allow yourself to just sit and doodle. What comes up for you when you are doodling? For me, I often make the spiral circle within circle within circle. Some believe that's the gratitude symbol. I always make flowers, and I usually make a tree. My mom taught me how to draw a proper tree because she's an artist. And so my doodle sheet usually has the gratitude circle all over the place, flowers all over the place, several proper trees, and usually there's always Anastasia Renee written in bubble letters. So give yourself an opportunity to color and doodle. While you are coloring or while you are doodling, ask yourself, what is your body saying as it relates to joy? What does your heart have to say to you about joy or love or happiness or transition or beauty? And whatever comes up for you, write that on your doodling sheet. Write it over and over and over again. And breathe and allow yourself to feel that. A mantra or an affirmation or a saying that comes up for me often when I'm doing this is, all is well and you are enough. So whatever comes up for you, draw it, color it, give it bubble letters, use calligraphy, spend some time doodling. Another thing that you can do is lighting candles, if you can take that, and just watching the flame in the candle. Think of yourself as both the candle, the flame, and the wick. This is a reminder that you have many modalities, that you have many, many superpowers, and that you are a multi-layered human being doing magical work in the world, right? You are the candle, you are the flame, you are the wick, you are even the wax. This candle represents everything that you are. And what I love most about the lesson of the candle is even when you blow the flame out, you are still here. Yeah? So think of this candle as two-pronged. You are everything that the candle has to offer. And sometimes, even when you are weary and you are tired, and you're feeling like you're experiencing low energy, or even that you don't have any more light at the end of the day, even when the light is blown out, when the flame is blown out, you are still here and you are still powerful and you are still a powerful tool for yourself and others. I suggest doing the candle every day if you can, as a reminder for all the things that you have that are great, that are multi-layered, especially days when you do feel like you know your light is just, you have no more light. Think of yourself as the candle. Another thing that you can do, we started out doing that, is just breathing. One thing that, this is a confession for me, is that, you know, my wife does a lot of sound healing and breathing exercises. And I often say, listen, I don't do hot yoga. I can't like inhale on 6 and outhale on 7 or whatever. And so I like to do what's called free breathing, right? There's no counts. Um, there's no goal. There's just the breathing. Spend some time with yourself breathing. When you're breathing, the only thing that you need to remember in this exercise is imagining that your body is a vessel for joy. Every time you take a breath, more and more and more joy is filling up. And every time you release, more and more and more joy is still filling. So it's a win-win. The inhale and the exhale is all joy. Next, think of your internal life as its own environment. What does your internal environment look like? What I like about this particular Joy in the Morning exercise is that my internal environment can change daily or hourly if I wanted to, right? So today, my internal joy environment is a beach. There's water. There are waves. There are seagulls. There are blue butterflies flying around, dipping in and out of the water. There is a peace. And there's sun. In my internal environment, the sun actually plays jazz music. And so instead of rays coming from the sun, Nina Simone is coming from the sun. Alice Coltrane is coming from the sun. Cannonball Adderley is coming from the sun. And in my joy environment, internally inside myself, I see myself walking with my head held high and my heart so happy, right? So begin your day asking yourself, what does my internal joy environment look like today? What does my internal joy environment sound like? What am I wearing in this internal joy environment? This will help you throughout the day. If you're having, again, a moment of low energy or even self-doubt or sorrow or sadness, you can return to your internal joy environment and see yourself there. Remember what you said you were feeling there, how you remember music playing or not, or just tune into the sounds. More importantly, tune into the feeling. Remember what you said your internal environment felt like. Sometimes, you can invite somebody in if you decide, hey, also in my internal environment, I want to invite fill in the blank. It's your internal environment. You can do that. You can do whatever you like. Sometimes in my internal environment, returning back to the kid self, I picture my kid self that reminds me of Joy sitting on the beach waiting for me. So when I return to this environment, I am greeted by my kid self, right? So think about the multiple environments you can create internally that you can return to. Adjacent to that is create a soundtrack for your life. and memorize these songs. Again, you know, I cheat often, like my soundtrack for my life changes, but there are a couple of songs in rotation that never change. So take some time out to create a soundtrack for your life. These songs should make you feel like this. They should make you laugh. They should give you joy. They should make you feel powerful. They should make you feel sassy, classy, jazzy. They should make you feel peaceful. They should make you feel courageous. They should make you feel loved. And they should make you feel safe. After you have this soundtrack, you should write it down and post it somewhere for yourself, right? So you've got it up here internally and you've written it down in a journal, but you should also post it somewhere in your house or put it in the notes on your phone. As a reminder, this is the soundtrack of my life. When things are low, when my candle is burning out, when I feel short on energy and light, my soundtrack. I have my soundtrack. This will make you think of one of the songs, and hopefully you'll hum the song. Birds flying high, you know how I feel. You know, it's a reminder, right? Another joyful reminder. Another thing that I suggest on our, you know, Joy in the Morning list, I don't know how many there are so far, but good old-fashioned call someone you love. I find that during quarantine, I don't know why this has been harder for me than I had imagined. Maybe because, you know, we're all feeling supremely isolated, and for me that's made me draw in a little bit more, and I've had to work hard on this one. But call someone out of the blue, even if you have 5 minutes, and this is what you say. Hi, I don't have a lot of time to talk. I just wanted to tell you I love you. Or hi, I don't have a lot of time to talk, but I just wanted to tell you, you mean so much to me, and I was thinking about you. It turns out Stevie Wonder was right when he had that song, I Just Called to Say I Love You. That's what you're doing. You're doing the modern day, I just called to say I love you, but you are filling in the blank. Hi, I just called to say I've been thinking about you. Hi, I just called to say I'm really glad you are in my life. Hi, I just called to say you've touched me, you've changed me, right? And that's it. There's no need for a conversation. If it's somebody you talk to regularly, you can end with, okay, I'll call you back or I'll text you, right? These are very short bursts of love. You want to keep it short, state your case, and know that you will have made a huge difference in that person's day, a very positive impact, and you will in turn feel good about that. You will have a sense of joy when you hang up, when you hit the red button, right? So before you do that, make a list. I'm all about lists. Make a list of folks that you intend to call. How many of these calls will you do per week? Will you do two calls a week? You know, that's 8 calls a month. Make a list of 8 people that you want to call and share this joy burst of love with. Before we go into the second half, I want you to remember to breathe. And I'd like you to repeat after me. I am important. I am love. I am happy. I am enough. I am joyful even in the morning. All right. Couple of deep breaths again. I'd like you to take your left or right hand and put it on your heart and just rub your heart. Rub your heart. And take your other hand and put it on top. Give your heart a squeeze. Couple more deep breaths. All right. Wrapping up this glorious list of maintaining joy in the morning. Make a list acknowledging the things that make you sad. I know this might seem counterintuitive, but many times I think as humans we are told to keep it pushing, keep it moving, be strong, be so strong. Don't think about the bad stuff. Just don't think about it. Don't say it. Don't claim it. Don't feel it. And I think when we push down worry, when we push down hurt, when we push down fear, when we push down anger, it can fester inside of us and cause us dis-ease. And so instead of blocking those things, I am a firm believer in acknowledging the pain, acknowledging the hurt, acknowledging the anger, not wallowing in it, but definitely acknowledging it. And so when you feel as though you've kind of had it up to here, in collaboration with everything else that's on the list, take some time to make a list acknowledging the things that bother you through the week, the things that hurt you. When you get to the end of the list, let it go. Take the list and get rid of it any way you see fit, and let it go. Now, we know we are humans, right? When you let the list go, it's not like you're going to have a sudden case of amnesia, right? But I promise there will be a level of lightness that comes over you. And be okay with the fact that, it's gonna hurt a little, maybe a lot to write the list, but you'll have the feeling of feeling a little bit lighter to look forward to. Next on the list, I suggest that you become a copious note taker and researcher of all things mundane. As a writer, I use this tool. I write fiction, nonfiction, poetry, and I want to be an expert on things because I want my readers or listeners to believe me, right? And we know that the more details we have about certain things, the more our listeners or readers will believe us. So to wrap up the list, one thing that I do that gives me joy is to research things, random things. Every week, I choose a random thing to be excited about. And I research it to exhaustion. And I write down the things that I learn. I can tell you almost anything you ever wanted to know about butter or butterflies or candles. But what I love most about this is that starting to research one thing can take you to another thing, which will lead you to another thing, which leads you to the ultimate thing that I believe Spirit is nudging you to research. For example, let's say you wanted to research a certain food, right? And then you realize this certain food is cooked in different iterations and various cultures. And then that takes you to honing in on one specific culture. And then that takes you to family history. And then you realize, oh, someone in your family has a connection to that. You see what I'm saying? Like plan A takes you to plan C. And this can give you joy. Curiosity, I believe, is a form of joy. Curiosity also takes us all the way back to our kid self. The one thing that feeds your kid self is curiosity and learning. Everything becomes new. Everything becomes exciting. Everything becomes something you want to digest and morph and change and make it into something brilliant. Everything also takes us back to researching and learning more about ourselves. And I believe the more that we learn about ourselves, the greater conduits we can be to help other people learn about themselves, even as they are transitioning. So thank you for spending time with me today. Thank you for opening yourselves up. Thank you for breathing with me. I say farewell to you and to your kid, your little yous. Thank you too for spending time with me today, and I look forward to chatting with you and talking about these things further in question and answer. Have a wonderful day.